Okay, get yourself ready for your restorative practice. Get your blanket on top of your mat. That just allows you to, it kind of replicates bed as much as anything. So just lay yourself along your blanket. Have a bolster for underneath your knees, a couple of blocks for underneath your feet. Have a folded blanket for your head. And then we will start our lovely restorative practice. So this is always one of those things that is good to look forward to. Just this time to just relax into the floor, just to let the body completely release. So just have the bolster underneath your knees, have the blocks underneath your feet, and don't be in a rush to just get yourself into the final position. Just adjust the equipment until you feel that you've got the perfect position to relax. Just enjoy these first couple of moments of completely releasing into the floor. So the sequence of poses that we're going to do are just there to allow the body to relax, because relaxation is incredibly valuable. The body needs relaxation, just letting go of the tensions of the day. So don't expect the body to just relax just immediately. You've probably been on the go all day. So it may take a few moments to really focus in on your relaxation. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Soften into the ground. Release the arm and the leg muscles. Just unhooking the muscles so that you consciously release down into the floor. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet so that they tingle with consciousness. Drawing your consciousness into the soles of the feet and then allow the soles of the feet to completely relax. By softening the muscles and the skin and the flesh, softening the bones. Draw your attention into the tops of the feet so that they tingle with consciousness. And consciously relax the soles of the feet, the tops of the feet. Just softening the muscle and the bones. Just relaxing the skin and the muscle and the bone of the top of the foot. Draw your attention into your shins. Draw your consciousness into your shins. Feeling the skin and the muscle and the bone of the shins. Draw your attention into the fronts of the shins and allow the fronts of the shins to sink into the calf muscle. And then consciously relax the shins into the bed of the calf muscle, allowing the shins to sink into the floor. Draw your attention into your thighs and your kneecaps. Take a deep inhalation and then allow the fronts of the thighs to sink into the backs of the thighs, just letting the legs completely release into the floor and into the bolster and the blocks. Allow the legs to just remain completely inert, just completely released. Draw your attention into the abdomen. Just feeling the abdomen rise and fall with the inhalation and the exhalation. And allow the abdomen to sink towards the spine. Draw your attention into the chest and the rib cage. And then allow the chest to completely relax into the floor, softening the shoulders, softening your arms and your forearms and your hands. Allow your arms and your shoulders to completely relax. Draw your attention into your upper arms and your forearms, letting go of any tension that you're holding in your arms. Just allowing the arms to relax into the floor, the upper arms and the forearms, and letting the hands just completely relax into the ground. And then soften your neck. Soften your neck and the skin around the face and around the eyes. Just spend a few moments just being at one with the feeling of the pose. Soften the muscles around the face and in the inner ear. Just soften the face and the skin and the inner ear, just allowing the body to just replenish its energies by completely relaxing. When you're ready to disturb yourself, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, just bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have the knees together, the feet apart. And then gently roll onto your right side. And then straighten out your leg, come up into a seated position, just cross legs with your hands on your knees for a moment, just observing the energy that you have released through your practice so far. Okay, so we'll do a little reclining pigeon pose. So you have the blanket underneath your head, and you're going to have one leg over the bolster like this, and then you're just going to cross the other leg over the top. Now, if this leg doesn't feel like it's being supported, you can put some cushions underneath it, just so that that leg feels as though it is supported as well. So the reclining pigeon. So one leg over the top, and then allow yourself to release down into the floor. So just a really simple, calming pose, really nice for the hips. Just allow yourself to release into the floor. So as always, as we progress into the sequence, I will speak less and less so that you can just relax rather than feeling that you need to listen. And then just straighten out the top leg. Just have both have bolster a bit underneath both knees for a moment, and then just cross the other leg over the top of the other thigh, the straight leg thigh, with a little support for your thigh and your knee, and then again just release into the ground. just straighten that top leg. Just move the support from underneath your leg. Just keep the bolster underneath the knees for a moment. Just resting down into the floor. And then wriggle your toes, just bend your knees, and then roll onto your side. And then come up into a seated position. So we're just going to do a little grounding spinal twist. So get your bolster. I often like to do this one with an oblong bolster, but it doesn't have to be oblong. It can just be your normal bolster. Either of them would be fine. Just have your knees bent, so just a little grounding spinal twist. So you're going to bend your knees and then turn the chest to face the bolster, lengthening your chest along the bolster, and then just rest your head with your chin in the same direction as your knees. And then allow yourself to release down into the floor. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up into a seated position, just come back into cross legs. Just holding your knees, just observing how your energy changes between one pose and the next. And then we'll do that same pose just on the other side. So just sit with the other hip close to the end of the bolster, just sitting with your feet behind you, underneath your, sitting your legs bent, and then turn your chest so that your chest is facing down to the bolster, and then rest your head on the other side and just release down into the floor. So this is a really nice gentle stretch for your back. Just allow yourself to just release into the floor, relaxing into the pose. And then push your hands into the floor, and then just sit yourself back into cross legs. Just observing how body feels after each of the poses. And then just keep the bolster where it is. You might want to make it a little higher up, or if you've got two bolsters, you could put one on top of the other. We're going to do our supported child's pose. So to make it higher up, you can just put some blocks along the floor and then just bring it onto there so it's a little bit higher up, or you can bring your blanket along the top of the bolster Just come forwards, lengthening forwards. Just have your elbows just resting down to the floor. Rest your head on one side and just alternate so that you rest your head on one side then the other. Don't forget to just swap the position of your head every now and then. Just swap in the position of your head. Just one more time, just swap the position of your head. And then push your hands underneath your shoulders and then just sit yourself back on your heels. Just observe that quietening energy that you have released. And then we're going to do our legs on the chair pose. So grab yourself a chair, or if you haven't got a chair, just you can put your feet onto the sofa or onto just a little stool or something. You're just going to come down onto the floor and just bring your legs up on top of the chair. Have the folded blanket for underneath your head. And then just allow yourself to just release down into the floor. So this pose just softens out your back, quietens the brain, and brings lots of calming energy into your body and mind. Gently bring your feet to the front edge of the chair and then just roll yourself over onto your right side. Just push your elbow into the floor, bring yourself up into the seated position. Just move your chair out of the way. Bring your bolster back from underneath your knees, and just for the last couple of minutes, just lay yourself down into the basic relaxation pose, the one that we started with. Just making sure that you feel comfortable and just allowing the body to release. Just let the body become heavy on the ground. And observe that feeling of energetic lightness that radiates from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. And the flesh and the skin. Just distribute that feeling of energetic lightness down into the toes and into the fingertips and into the top of the head. And then when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, just bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. Just bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster. The feet apart and your knees together. Just resting into the floor. And then gently roll over onto your side, onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into the seated position. Just cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Drawing your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the reclining poses and the relaxation poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world, to people, to places, to things that need our positive energy. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you really lifted your energy, just calmed everything down, giving yourself some good quietening for your evening. So thank you very much for joining me.